Hello everyone, welcome back to Montana Haven. My name's Priscilla. If you are new, welcome. And we just love all of our subscribers and all of our viewers. Thank you so much. And today I wanted to talk about fermented foods. Anything that's fermented has live probiotics in them. They have a lot of good bacteria in it. So anything that's fermented is so good for your gut. If your gut has more bad bacteria in it than good, it causes bloating, it causes just a lot of issues, and it can cause a lot of other health issues if your gut is not working properly. So it's actually very important to get that good bacteria in your gut. So the way to do it is to eat a lot of fermented foods, or to take like probiotic pills or some great enzymes. But I like to make some of my own fermented stuff. So what I'm going to show you today is how to make such an easy and simple yogurt. Yogurt has a lot of good flora in it, a lot of good probiotics. And of course I'm using goat's milk. And when you make goat's milk yogurt, it's a little bit harder to get it thick. It's just a lot more runnier. But I have found such a simple recipe with an Instapot. So if you don't have an Instapot, I'm sorry, you might not be able to do it this way. But I'm going to make goat's milk yogurt in here. And also I wanted to talk to you about a few other fermented things that you can do. One is you can make your own kombucha, but I have not done that yet. I know that some ladies around here have been making their own kombucha, but I have not. If I have too many cultures going on, I can't keep up with them. So every once in a while, I'll just buy my own kombucha and drink it, because it's just so good. It has a lot of enzymes and good probiotics. And then another thing that is super good for you is sauerkraut. And sometimes I just eat a couple teaspoons full of sauerkraut before I eat a meal. And it just helps to break down my meal and help with my digestion. So, and if you want to know how to make a very simple and easy sauerkraut recipe, go back last fall. I put a video out of, I think it was called Canned Pumpkin and Fermented Sauerkraut. I believe that's what it was called, so you can find it. And I'm still eating what I made last year. And so if I remember, I'll take a couple teaspoons of this before every meal. They say, now I didn't research this, but I heard that fermented foods like sauerkraut have like 100 times or just a whole bunch more probiotic than actual probiotic pills that you buy on the market. So yeah, if you make your own fermented foods, it's very high in gut flora, really good probiotics and good bacteria. And now another thing that is good to do is make your own kefir. And if you can see here, I'm gonna see if you can see that. These are kefir grains. And I just got these kefir grains from a friend. And I'm not sure where you can find them. I think maybe you can even buy them on Amazon. You wanna make sure you buy some good quality kefir grains. And you never want these grains to touch anything metal. So you don't wanna use metal with making this. And all you do is put it in a quart jar, and then you fill it up with however full you want to make it with milk. And then you let this sit for overnight or 24 hours. And then it's kind of gets a little bit thick, it's still runny. And then you just drain it in a plastic strainer or something. And it's really sour. But I use it, the way I usually use kefir is in smoothies. I will dump it in my green smoothies, and it just has a whole bunch of good probiotics. And So that's what I do. I often use my kefir for smoothies. And by the way, right now I'm just going to put some milk in it. And you wanna, if you put a lid on it, you just wanna put it on very lightly. You don't wanna put it on hard. You just wanna put it on light. And, or then you can put a cheesecloth over it, or you can put like a, let's see if I can, no, yeah. You can put on like a coffee filter. You can put a coffee filter over it and a rubber band if you want to. But usually I just lightly put on a plastic lid. I'm gonna go get some milk. And I have a lot of goat's milk right now. That's why I'm making some yogurt and kefir. So I'm not gonna fill it all the way up because I don't need quite that much. Just put it in here, and then you just lightly put the lid on. And then what I'm going to do is set it back in here in my little garage door and in a dark place, and literally just let it there until the next day, till I want to use it for a smoothie. Okay, I'll put this back in the fridge, and then we can start with the yogurt. And also, if you use the Instapot, if you make yogurt, this is a 24-hour yogurt, so I actually don't heat up the milk to boiling. It just sits in about 110 degrees or something like that temperature, so you do not need this ring, this pressure ring. This ring tends to hold in the smell of whatever you pressured, and so right now it smells like chicken and garlic, and so you don't need to have this or it'll make your yogurt taste like this. So I'm going to take that out, and next what you want to do is dump all your milk in there. Actually, what I'm going to do first is just dump 1 quart of milk, and then you want to put a culture in. Like here I have a honey Greek yogurt, a whole milk. And it has, you want it to have live probiotics in it, live cultures in it. That helps this whole gallon of milk to culture into yogurt. Avalon, could you get me a spatula and a wire whisk? Thank you. Okay, so I'm just going, this is a 6 ounce, I think. I think you can use about a cup if you want. I don't think this is quite a cup. So now you just want to whisk this up in here. Just whisk this yogurt in. And then all you do is add the rest of the milk. And I have a gallon here, so I'm gonna make a gallon. And this is all goat's milk, raw goat's milk. So there you go. So now this is all ready to go, and all it took was milk and a little bit of starter yogurt. And now you just put on this lid. Plug it in. And now what you want to do is, right here is the yogurt button, and you want to press that yogurt button, and it says 24 hours. So you can make it less if you want, but I like to let it sit for a good 24 hours. And so now all I do is push it back and let it sit there for 24 hours, and then I'll take it out. And goat's milk yogurt, for me anyways, it's usually runny, so I'm going to put it in a cloth in a strainer and let it sit for quite a few hours and just let the whey come out of it so that it thickens just a little bit. And then you can eat it any way you want. You can add some maple syrup or some stevia. You can flavor it with vanilla, or you can put some fruit in it. You can eat it with granola or your cereals. Tomorrow when I come and check on this yogurt, I'm going to show you how I make fermented pickles. That is also so good for you. Anything fermented is super healthy for your gut. So that's why I wanted to share some of these recipes with you. So I'll be back tomorrow. Okay, it's been a little over 24 hours and I'm ready to take out this yogurt. And by the way, it's rainy outside and it's such a blessing. Just recently, a few times we've had some thunderstorms and like all day rain, and it's been so wonderful because literally all summer long we've had no rain except maybe for sprinkles here and there. It's been a beautiful summer, a really hot summer, and we really needed the rain, but we're finally getting some here in the middle of August. It makes it seem a little bit like fall because it's chilly. It's like 60 degrees. I've got a long sleeved shirt on because I get chilly easily. But anyways, let's get started with this. I'm gonna take this off, and also want to show you, I know that there's a yogurt strainer that you can get, but I don't have any. So I have a bowl here and a strainer here, and then I also just have, it's like a cotton cloth, piece of cloth. I'm not even sure where I got this. It almost seems like someone gave me this. It's so perfect for this. It's, I don't use cheesecloth because my goat's milk yogurt will just go through that. So I use a little bit of a thicker cloth. And so I'm gonna dump the the yogurt in here. I'm gonna open this and see how it looks. And I'll give you a close-up. Yeah, it smells a little tiny like yogurt should, and it looked like it's set up a little bit. I'll give you a close-up. So there it is. I'm gonna put in, see that it just kind of sits in there. I love that. That means it did pretty well. And listen, all it was milk and some yogurt culture. And you want to make sure the culture you get, the yogurt you get, has live and active probiotics in it. But it's still pretty thin. You can tell it's quite thin. So I'm going to strain it for quite a few hours, probably for the rest of the day. Hi, what do you think, Wyatt?
I can't wait to eat it.
You can't wait to eat it? Well, tomorrow morning we'll have cold, fresh yogurt with some berries and granola. How about that? Does that sound good? So I have it in here, and let's see if you can see this in the bowl here. Yeah, there is some whey coming out. And you can actually use the whey for like making bread if you want. I don't always because I'm not making it this day, but I guess I could save it in the fridge. But yeah, I'm going to let this sit until probably tonight. And it's a little hard to scrape out the edges here. With a cloth, it would be much easier with a yogurt strainer. But I don't have one, so I just do with what I have, and it works just fine. Another thing I wanted to mention is you don't have to do this step. You don't have to strain out some of the whey if you don't want to. If you don't mind thin yogurt. I just like it a little thicker, but I think the children would be fine to drink it like this. Anyways, I just wanted to tell you that you don't have to do it that way if you don't mind, you know, yogurt that's almost like liquid. But let's get started on fermented pickles. I'll show you the process on how to do that. Okay, I'm ready to start on my pickles. And what you want to do first is put your pickles in ice water for about 10 minutes, and so that they get really cold and crisp, and they'll kind of stay that way once you start fermenting them. And then I have all my ingredients here out for you to see. This is just water and salt. It takes 5 cups of water and 2 tablespoons of salt for a half gallon. And then here I have dill, I have a grape leaf, I have just a hot pepper that I like to add, and I have like 8 pieces of garlic, although you can add as many as you want. I have some onion here, and then I have some spices. I have turmeric, celery seed, and a little bit of allspice, and then I have peppercorns here and mustard seed. So let's get started. So first what I did is I drained out the cucumbers, and then next I'm going to put these, like the turmeric, the allspice, and the celery seed here in this water, salt water. Just mix it in there, mix the powders up in there. That'll be good. And then next I'm going to fill this jar with all these spices, onions, garlic, dill. So I have it all full with the brine and everything, and now I'm going to cover it with, this is a coffee filter, and it actually, you can also use a lid. The recipe calls for like a cloth or something to cover it, but I actually have done it with even just putting a lid on it loosely. But for this one, I'm gonna put a coffee filter on just so you can see the different ways you can do it. So can you see this pretty good? What you want to do is set it in a cool, dry place, a dark place somewhere, like in your pantry or something, and you want to let it sit there for like up to 4 days, maybe 4 to 5 days, and you want to check it on day 3, see if it's bubbling. If there's bubbles on top, then you know it's working. And also, what I forgot to say too is you want to make sure that the brine covers all of the pickles, because if it can eventually mold on top if it's not totally covered. And a lot of people have fermentation stones that they put on top to weigh it down. I don't have any, but I just really pushed my pickles down in and made them tight, and then I made sure that there was enough brine on top so that it covers it. And now I want to show you, oh, and another thing I forgot was, see this grape leaf? The grape leaf is what keeps the pickles crisp. There's something in a grape leaf that keeps it crisp. I'm not sure what it is, but I just know it works. But also a bay leaf works. If you don't have grapes or grape leaves, a bay leaf might be easier to get. Those work also. And I found this recipe online, and so I'll link it down below for you. But you can see how I do it, and then you can also follow the recipe. Now let me show you my pickles that I have been fermenting already for 3 days and show you how they look. So these 2 jars have been fermenting for 3 days now, and you can tell the difference. These look a lot clearer. These look murky now, and that's what you want. You can tell that it's working if it's murky and if it's bubbly here on top. Let's take off this lid so you can see inside. See those bubbles? That's very good. That shows that it's working. Probably about day 5, I'm going to put them in the fridge. And even in the fridge, they will keep on fermenting just ever so slightly. But not nearly as fast. And I can just go in there, my children can go in there and just grab a pickle out and eat it, and it's so good for you. It's so good for your gut. And even the brine, you don't want to throw away the brine. If you like, I mean, it's sour and salty and a little fizzy, and you can drink it. You can drink the brine, and it's amazing for you. So there you have it. This is how you make fermented pickles, and I'll put the recipe down below for you that I found online. And I pretty much followed that recipe, maybe a few differences, but you can see how I did it. And if you want to make some, you can make some. Another thing is you might want to set them in a pan like this while you're fermenting them, just in case it bubbles over. I've not had an issue yet, but I know that some people have said they had, so just for precaution's sake. Okay, this is actually the next morning. I left the yogurt in the strainer for the whole night, so it's just perfect yogurt. And what I did, I scraped it out of the cloth, and then you can just wash that cloth and rinse it out and then put it in the washer. But it just made such beautiful yogurt. It was a little lumpy, so you just whip it up. And I also added stevia and a little bit of maple syrup, so it's sweetened vanilla yogurt. Just perfect. And we're gonna make us some really nice yogurt bowls. By the way, we're all ready for church. We're gonna leave here in a few minutes as soon as we've eaten. Hi, Chloe.
Hi.
Good morning. Joas and the boys are still not at home from their job, so just us are going to church. Well, we are going to have to run to church as soon as we're done here, but I just want to thank you so much for watching, and I hope you try this yogurt. If you have an Instapot, it is so easy to do, and then you just let it drain I let it drain for overnight, and I just love the consistency of the yogurt. And just this, it tastes so good with all these berries and granola. It's just, I think it's one of my best yogurt batches that I've made. So, many blessings to you, and if you have any gut issues, it's so important to get good bacteria in your gut, so start some fermenting processes. But I bless you, and we will see you guys on the next video. Thank you so much for watching.